Someone said something cutting to you years ago. Maybe it was a joke that landed wrong. Maybe it was an offhand comment from a teacher, a parent, or a stranger on the street. You can probably repeat it word for word right now. But can you remember a compliment from the same week? Most people can't. The real answer for why is far stranger than simple sensitivity. Your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. Think about that imbalance for a second. One sharp sentence outlives 1,000 kind ones. That is not an accident. It is not a personality flaw. It is a survival mechanism running silently in the background of every conversation you have. Psychologist Roy Baumeister spent years studying this exact pattern. His research, summarized in the influential paper, Bad is Stronger Than Good, found that negative events, negative emotions, and negative feedback have a far larger psychological impact than positive ones of equal size. Losing money hurts more than gaining the same amount feels good. A single criticism can outweigh a dozen praises. Baumeister didn't find a glitch. He found a pattern. And patterns like this one usually trace back to something ancient. Picture a small group of early humans, maybe 40 people, no hospitals, no police, no way to survive alone. Your reputation inside that group was not a social nicety. It was your insurance policy. If the group turned on you, exile wasn't just embarrassing. It was often a death sentence. So imagine you're standing near the fire one night and someone insults you in front of everyone. What happens in your body? Your ancestors' brains treated that moment as urgent information. A hostile comment could mean shifting alliances. It could mean you were losing status. It could mean danger was coming from inside your own tribe, which is often more dangerous than danger from outside it. Supplement. By contrast, mostly just confirmed things were fine. Threat does. This is where memory gets interesting. Neuroscientist Elizabeth Kensinger has shown through brain imaging studies that emotionally negative experiences can activate the amygdala strongly, and that this heightened activation can help create sharper, more detailed, longer-lasting memories. Your brain isn't choosing to obsess over the insult. It is chemically stamping that memory as high priority. Meanwhile, the compliment gets filed away as low-priority background noise, the mental equivalent of an email you skim and forget. Here's the twist. Most people never consider. This system wasn't built to make you miserable. It was built to keep you alive long enough to pass on your genes. An ancestor who forgot every threat but remembered every compliment did not last very long. The ones who survived, the ones whose genes eventually became your genes, were the ones who replayed every slight, every warning glance, every subtle shift in the group's mood over and over, until they adjusted their behavior to survive it. You inherited that same machinery, except now it fires in situations that were never designed for it. A rude comment in a work email, a joke at a party that didn't land the way you hoped, a stranger online who will forget you exist by tomorrow. Your brain still treats these moments the way it once treated a threat to your entire tribe. Psychologist John Gottman found something remarkable while studying long-term relationships. Couples who stayed together happily needed roughly 5 positive interactions to balance out a single negative one. Not 2, not 3, 5. That ratio wasn't a coincidence. It was a direct window into how unevenly your brain weighs good and bad. One critical word doesn't just cancel out one kind word. It takes an avalanche of kindness to outweigh a single sting. So why does the insult from 3rd grade still surface at 2 a.m. while the praise from last week has already vanished? Because your brain isn't grading your life on fairness. It's grading it on risk. And risk, to an ancient nervous system, is always louder than comfort. Here's the part that should change how you see yourself. This isn't proof that you're too sensitive. It isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that you're carrying a nervous system built for a world that no longer exists. A world where a single insult really could mean the difference between belonging and starvation, between safety and exile. Once you understand this, the insult loses some of its grip. You start to notice the pattern instead of living inside it. That comment that's been looping in your head for years wasn't important because it was true. It was important because your brain, running code written hundreds of thousands of years ago, flagged it as dangerous and never got the memo that the danger passed. Modern life rarely threatens your survival the way it once did, but your amygdala doesn't know that. It still fires the same alarm for a snide remark in a group chat that it once reserved for a rival threatening your place by the fire. So tonight, when an old insult resurfaces uninvited, you don't have to fight it or shame yourself for remembering it. You can recognize it for what it actually is. Not a truth about your worth, just an ancient alarm system doing the only job it ever knew how to do, protecting a tribal creature that, most days, doesn't need protecting anymore. Someone said something cutting to you years ago, and you still remember every word. Not because you're weak, because somewhere inside you, a survivor is still listening for danger.